Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for TWiT specials is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com. This is TWiT Live Special number 253, recorded Sunday, September 13th, 2015. UMake. You were featured in the, that's what I wanted to find, is this picture, in the Apple keynote for the iPad Pro, UMake.xyz.
So we were there before Google.
Nice. You were the first XY. You know, it's funny. I'm seeing a number of XYZs, and yeah, Google just, I guess they didn't plan for Alphabet. So are you based in Israel, or where are you based?
Yeah, we're based in Tel Aviv and San Francisco.
Nice. You're local guys.
I am.
Okay. And UMake is a design tool,
Yes.
essentially.
It's the first 3D sketching app exclusively on the iPad.
You've got to be thrilled about the iPad Pro.
Oh, yeah.
Were you, did you get advanced knowledge of it? A little bit?
I can't say a lot. But
Yeah, I understand. So you've been working already to develop stuff,
Exactly.
something that will be suitable for the pencil. Are you excited about pencil?
Oh,
Pencil
definitely
looks
the best
awesome.
stylus out there right now.
Do you have an over-the-shoulder, Jason?
I do.
So this is the app.
Yep. You can rotate it and...
Oh, that's going to be cool. So you could sketch something.
Sketch in 3D, directly in 3D.
In 3D.
And UMake is groundbreaking, not just because, you know, it's in 3D, it's because it's the first time that 3D design is no longer tied to a desktop. So,
Well, see, that's what Ben is saying, is that absolutely key. In fact, I think he might have mentioned UMake. Key to the idea that these really good professional apps are available for the iPad Pro is that the ecosystem has to support people like UMake. So you're going to just do a freemium version. That's one way to solve it, right?
Right.
As long as the free version gives people enough of an experience to know whether they want to spend it, then how much would it cost to get the full version?
we are still figuring it out.
But
So
probably not
not
going
too
to be
much,
$5. And that's the problem, is that the expectation is apps are $5. That's not going to support a really pro
developers.
ecosystem.
Right, that's true. I think the ecosystem is evolving over the time. We not charge, you know, $100 a month like the CAD software or 3D design software on the desktop are doing today. We're trying to adjust to the mobile ecosystem, but I think it will be much more affordable and accessible than any other.
See, that's
3D design
fabulous.
software.
But you have to figure out, well, but what is it going to cost us to continue development? What is it going to cost us to support our R&D and have a company? And how many units can we sell? And I guess the presumption is, and this is certainly true with the iPhone, so many units were sold that you can maybe charge $15 and make it worthwhile. But you know, we need more than just a few handful of apps. This is really, go ahead and give us a little demo.
Yeah, I can.
So you have to kind of, you can scooch over if you want. You have to kind of keep it there. That's the shot.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe I'll tell you the story about behind this car.
Yeah.
Let me go over. So this car was designed for Local Motors. It's an innovative automakers based in.
So they're
Phoenix,
actually going to
Arizona.
make a car like that?
You can see it right away.
Wow.
So this car was designed by an HP engineer. So there's creating a community around 3D designs and automotive design. And they had to resketch most of the design because they used different chassis and other parameters for the car. So they have to redraw everything. And the designer that had to do it is named Aurel, and he doesn't know any 3D design software.
Wow. So he's not going to say SketchUp or 3D Studio Pro. He doesn't know.
Exactly. So the only software he knows is Photoshop. And he used it for more than 10, 15 years now. And when he saw one of the beta testers of UMake using it at Local Motors, he was very excited about that. So he bought an iPad only to use UMake, which was incredible by itself. And he sketched first in Photoshop, but he went to a vacation in France. He's a French guy for 5 weeks. And in less than 24 hours, he created this model that you just saw.
Wow. Now, does it output in a format that other CAD software can use?
Yes.
What's the format?
So you can export it to IGES, and we're going to support other file formats as well. So IGES and OBJ.
IGES, UMake, and OBJ.
UMK is our own file format, but IGES is a neutral 3D file format. You can open it in any other 3D design software.
What's neat is you can use a stylus to this. Now,
right.
The pencil will be even better.
I know.
The pencil will be and having a 13-inch screen will be huge, right?
It's amazing. Once you're using the iPad Pro, you can get used to the iPad Air.
This feels too small.
Yeah, it feels too small.
Not to mention the power, right? I mean, we're talking almost twice as fast.
It's incredible. It's the best tablet out there. I think the iPad as a tablet is the best tablet out there, but now with the iPad Pro is truly amazing. So
UMake.xyz, people are asking what's the name of the app, and we're looking at your online video.
Thank you.
Comparing doing it in something like AutoCAD to doing it on a tablet. It's certainly more intuitive. Would a designer who's used to using AutoCAD feel restricted by this? I mean,
so we can talk about the engineer.
There's your team. So that's him.
This is the engineer from Local Motors. He's not the designer.
Yeah.
So he's doing all the manufacturing part in the process, and he has 15 years of knowledge in 3D design software. He's working on a station that costs at least $15,000.
Right.
And he created this model in 1 week.
Wow.
And the amazing thing that at the same time, Aurel sketched it in UMake on the iPad, and they almost made the same 3D design. So one person did it on an iPad with UMake, and the other one with a professional CAD software on a very expensive station. So you can see that they created an overlay of Aurel's sketch and the engineer's sketch as well, and they compared the two. So on the top is the engineering sketch, and on the bottom is Aurel's sketch, the 2D designer. And you can see there are differences, of course, but this was made less than in 24 hours by someone that knows 3D design only for 2 weeks. And that's the incredible thing about it.
Should we really, though, think of it more as a sketch pad that you would then export to IGES and then import it and do the more detailed work? Or do you feel like everything that needs to be done could be done that way?
So our goal is to move 80% of the 3D design process to the mobile ecosystem.
80%, wow.
And we think it's possible starting with a conceptual design, creating more free-form designs, less accurate, less precise.
Think of it as a napkin, right, that you just kind of sketch out ideas on. But then within UMake, you could kind of refine it and make it more functional.
You can create surfaces, you can create more advanced features that I can show you. And this is a simplified version that they did
3D printed.
And 3D printed them. I can't show you the photos after that, I guess, because of Local Motors, but they're actually
they're going to sell this car.
They're building
awesome.
it right now.
Is it a kit car? Must be, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. They're printing all the parts in 3D.
No. Wow.
I don't know if I can show you, but
don't show me. That's all right. Let's not violate anybody's.
So they're creating some really
That's
cool
remarkable.
Stuff.
So tell me about UMake. How long have you guys been in business?
We started in April last year, 2014.
And it was dedicated to it was for the iPad.
We left Autodesk. We worked at Autodesk for 4 years. We were responsible for the first CAD app on the mobile ecosystem, which is AutoCAD. AutoCAD 360. After 4 years at Autodesk, we decided that we want to take another challenge in the design ecosystem, which is 3D design. So we ask ourselves how can we create a very easy-to-use experience?
It's just mind-blowing. And this is an Air 2. I mean, imagine this on iPad Pro.
I think Apple did an amazing. I can't tell much about our process with Apple, but I can definitely say that they are the most innovative company today. When it comes to hardware and software all together.
Yeah. So. Well, my contention, and we're going to debate this on TWiT, because Ed Bott is, I'm sure, going to say, oh, this is just a Surface. This is Apple responding to the Surface. I think Apple should never have released the keyboard, because that engenders that kind of thinking. That keyboard looks just like the Surface keyboard. Had they just released an iPad Pro and stylus, I think the message would have been clearer that this is a new platform and a new way of working. That this is a touch-first OS.
Exactly.
designed for professional apps. And I think Ben, in his article, made the point that if you, or somebody was saying, if you try GarageBand on the iPad Pro, it's a different experience. It's a professional mixing experience. If you try a iMovie on it, you go, oh, this is really, I'm really creating here.
And I think yesterday you talked about the touch experience, using your two hands. And we all love the Iron Man movies. The
right. You want to do this,
And you want to do that. And now you can with the iPad Pro. So it's such a large display that you can play, you know, with your hands, with the pencil, all together, creating a great experience. And we created some really amazing experience using the pencil and the hand together. So it feels more like a natural step in the evolution of user experience. And if we're going back to the 80s, I think it's very exciting because it feels like, you know, the first word for the PC or the first Photoshop or the first AutoCAD.
That's kind of my reaction. This is I called it a breakthrough. People say, why is it a breakthrough? It's just Surface. No. This is a touch first OS going from basically being a consumption device on an iPad Air to being a creation device. Exactly. And we've never really had a touch-first OS for creation. And that's where it's going to be interesting. But Ben's point, and I think he's absolutely right on, is Apple's got to make an effort to support this. And that one of the ways to do that would be offer trial versions in the App Store. But you're obviously very happy with Apple. Of course, they highlighted you in the keynote. So.
I love Apple as a company. Yeah. I also love what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft is also working on innovation. But I truly believe that if you go after the touch experience, you have to be fully committed.
Commit. So, and that's what they weren't willing to do with Windows 8.0.
You can use the old-fashioned way of doing things. You have to create a new ones to
But that's Microsoft, and that's their heredity. Their DNA is legacy support, continually support the legacy while trying to break through. Apple's always been willing to just leave the old stuff in the dust, and I think this is very exciting.
It's the first car to ever manufacture from the iPad, which is the history in the making.
That's amazing. So. But it's going to take high-quality professional apps for the iPad Pro. Those, you know, I look at the iPad Pro and say it's going to be really fun to play Fallout Shelter on it. No, that's not the most important. We've got to get these apps out. It's no accident that Microsoft was on stage because, of course, Microsoft has done, before they put Touch First Office out for Windows, they put it out for iPad. And really, that's the Touch First experience. I haven't. I'd be very interested to see how it is. Well, they showed PowerPoint. And
another strength that they have is the ecosystem. So our friends from Procreate, another sketching app that was featured at the keynote as well. And imagine moving from a 2D to 3D apps and vice versa. So you can create all of these great apps coming together and helping to create a great user experience.
But therein lies the rub, because you don't have a file system. You don't have what we're used to in a full computer system. You know, I'm going to save these files out, but getting it into another app, unless you've got some sort of deal with that other app, is impossible, right? All I can do at best is save it to my computer and then open it in AutoCAD. So well, you probably can't talk about it.
If we need a file manager.
Do you need a file system?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We do. I think simplify the user experience around file management. It already happened on the iPad. So,
cool. Yeah, well, but the iPad is really, and I think this is going to be a tricky transition, because the iPad, you really think of it as full screen apps. You use one at a time. And of course, for that, you don't need a file system. But suddenly we're trying to do more professional things with this, and I'm very interested in how Apple's going to handle that. But I think they're doing the right thing, which is start with touch.
Yes.
And then move from touch to whatever level of complexity they think they need. Remember, the iPad was designed to be a simple computer for kids and people who didn't want to be geeks. People who are doing this kind of stuff on an iPad are, by default, demanding more. They're geeks, right?
I can tell you that we have more than 10 beta customers that bought an iPad only to use
this
of UMake.
Is this available now?
It will be available very soon. Okay. So we're working on finalizing the app and releasing it.
But you're going to want to, it seems pretty stable right now. You're going to want to use it on an iPad Pro. And I can see why Phil Schiller gave you a little bit of a plug on the stage, because This shows off the capability.
Yeah, true.
UMake.xyz. Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And what's your name again?
Evie.
Evie. And here's another. This is also from the UMake website, showing how.
Yeah, this is a Formula 1 car that has been sketched on as a background.
See, I look at this, and this is part of the problem, is I look at this, and these are skills that I don't have, and I think a lot of the press doesn't have, so they don't really immediately grok the value of this. But you look at GarageBand, and a lot of people, I think, Jason, you'd look at GarageBand on an iPad Pro and go, oh, wow. Or Logic. I'm sure they'll do Logic, right?
I don't know if GarageBand is good enough on an iPad.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
But don't you think, if you think about it, the way you use Logic, I don't know, do you use Logic? You don't.
I have. I don't currently full time, but I have.
Take Pro Tools. Yeah. Would a touch interface right on the screen be sufficient for all the things that you want to do? Because a lot of what you do in those are select, stretch, move around. It would very naturally be done with fingers, I think.
I would completely agree. In fact, I mean, you take the paradigm of audio production, if that's what we're talking about, it began using your fingers on a mixing board.
So when I look at GarageBand on the iPad Pro, I go, oh, it's a mixer.
Yeah.
I see that.
There's little details that would have to be worked out, you know, that we've come to kind of expect out of digital audio workstations and just kind of the current paradigm of using a mouse and a keyboard and everything like that. Well, but that's the point here, is figuring out how you
we're at the beginning of something.
Yeah, exactly. How you change that to fit the delivery mechanism, which is the iPad.
Who are using Premiere on Windows. What would it look like to do the kind of video editing they do? Certainly timeline, working with a timeline, moving stuff around, all of that would be easier. But you still have to do compressor and you have to export. And there's a lot of file system stuff that they're going to have to solve. It may be that the solution is built in to continuity and handoff, that you do have a Mac and that you just hand it off to them.